I hope I can say a few words and maybe excuse myself and let Brother James come. Please pray.
Yeah.
Bless him, Lord.
There's many things go through our mind when we hear our brothers, but it takes the Spirit, as the brethren already said, the Spirit of God to preach a man. We can't do it. I've been trying now for around 7 years, I guess, and I can't do it. And I know where it comes from, as these other brothers do. I can just offer myself, and that's why it is so fearful. It's fearful to stand before an all-wise God, one that knows all. And I don't know your hearts, and I don't know your minds and thoughts, but He does. And I see that there's only a few of us here, and I wonder sometimes when I go to church, and I wonder, Lord, what do they need to hear? What would comfort them? What would pick them up? What would cause them to work maybe a little harder for you? What would comfort them or encourage them to press on? Because we live in a broken world. I don't know how to preach again, and I don't know how to start. But I do know that I was thinking this week, Brother James, about a lot of old brothers that went this way and how they conducted themselves and some of the messages that they taught and spoke and preached of rings in my ears. Yet, Sister Rose, and I think a lot about that. And one thing I know, and I think a lot about my old dad. I do, and how he loved us and took care of us, and how after a while he had to go away, as we all will. As Brother Jerry spoke, but I'm glad we have a Father in heaven, and I'm glad that I want to tell every man and woman that I meet, that our Father that is in heaven was so good that He sent His only Son down here to die in our stead. But not only that, He left us something here to go by. Amen. Our Father sent us some letters. Wouldn't you like to read a letter from your natural father? Well, I've got good news today. I've got letters here from our Father. Amen. And they tell me how to live my life. And they tell me how to greet you, Brother James, and how to love you, Brother BJ. And they tell me how to love my wife and how to walk before my children. A father's letters told me this. And my natural father preached to this. So then, and he would say, and as I say, it's not about me, though we have great memories of them. But we have greater memories of right here, writings from the Father, and how He loved the Son, and how the Son loved us, and how through the Son, if we will be obedient, as Brother Jeremiah was so wonderfully preaching, if we'll be obedient to His teachings and His talking to us within our hearts, that there'll be a time in our life where we'll steal out somewhere, as we haven't we, Brother Glenn, and get up on our knees and call out to God. What is it then that drawed you to God, to Jesus Christ? It was the Father's love, wasn't it? Jesus said, no man will come unto me except first the Father draw him. And how does He draw you? By my love and kindness have I drawn thee. So then, if the Father that tells me right there, if we're to fill this house up, how the only way that we can fill it up is to draw with love and kindness Jesus. I've been talking all week long. There was a man that was asking me questions about orders, I'll just say it. And he kind of got on my nerves, Brother Glenn and Brother Randy. And I just told him, I said, son, you'll never draw a man by beating him up with stones. You'll never, I could read many places here where men picked up stones. One day they caught a little woman in the act of adultery, and they brought her right to Christ, did they not? This woman was guilty, wasn't she? I was guilty before Christ. But here was what Jesus began to say. These men said, Lord, we caught this woman in the act of adultery. And the scripture, the law tells us we're to stone her to death. What saith you? They wanted to tempt him, did they not? But brother, I love what he began to do. He just kneeled right down on his knees and began to write the sand. And they looked and astonished, no doubt. He's not said anything yet. They begin. Jesus lifted up his head, rose up, did he not, and said, oh, you men, ye without sin, you go ahead and cast the first stone. And he knelt down again, did he not, and began to write. When this little woman, no doubt, she thought she was gone, wasn't she? I thought I was lost. I knew I was lost, ruined and done. I thought hell was my home, Brother Glenn. And it ought to be if not for Jesus Christ, if not for the love of the Father, I would have been dead in a burning hell, waiting on maybe that lake of fire. But when Jesus raised up, he asked that little woman a question. Oh, woman, where are your accusers? Oh, Lord, they're all gone. No doubt she was crying, weeping. I was surely lost. Our death was surely going to get me, Lord. They're all gone. They're all gone. Oh, woman, neither do I accuse you. Go and sin no more. I'm glad today he told me what to do, Brother Randy. I'm glad today I followed him. At night, on my bed I sought him, whom my soul loveth. I remember, son, being your age. Oh, young boy, I was probably your age one night, and the Lord was working with me. I was trying to bargain with him. I was young and I was ignorant in a lot of things, and probably still am today, according to God's ways, because his ways are far above our ways. You see, I'm not the greatest one, I'm not the smartest one, but I am one of his today, and that's what's important today. Are you one of his today? I can remember being your age, and I began to say one night, oh Lord, show me hell. Is it really real? That's what I asked for, and that's what I seen. And I laid one night on my bed, and I had a little mobile home. It was before Leith and I ever got together, but I laid down there one night, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 4 it was, I'm not really sure, but my fire alarm went off, and only one went off. And I woke up and I heard it, and I went and I was like, what is that? I was half asleep, and I went over and I just touched it, and it went off. But the next day I was telling someone, I said, well, my alarm went off, my fire alarm went off, and they said, well, they got batteries in them, and your battery's probably low. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, yeah, that's what it is. It wasn't the Lord talking to me. It wasn't that. It was that. I got in my car and I drove all the way home, Brother James, and I checked, and it was hooked up with power. It didn't have batteries, and it began to scare me a little bit. But me being bold that night, I said, oh Lord, show me, was that real? Show me hell. Show me the flame. If that's real, what these brethren have been preaching, will you show me that? But you see, I didn't want to sleep by myself that night. I went to Mom's house, though, and laid on the couch. I was scared, so naturally so I was scared. But about the same time that night, I laid on the couch, and all at once, that room lit up. There was flames everywhere, and I was laying there on my couch, Brother Jerry. I'll tell you this, in front of God Almighty, He's real today. He's real today. And you know what happened? I began to shake. I got scared, and I put my back on that couch, and I could wanted to go through it. But He showed me the flames of hell, and He showed me a figure that I'll never forget, and He scared me to death, but I didn't change, you see. Why? Only God knows why, because I guess as Brother Jerry said, time went on a little bit, and I didn't feel the need, as he said sometimes, but I'm glad that He spared my life. I look back at all the foolish things I've done. All the great things. You know, Luke just played on a state team, and I loved basketball when I was young, and I'd play and play, and I had dreams in life, and I wanted to be rich. I wanted to drive this car and that car, and I wanted to live here and there. We've all done that, ain't we, brother, being young? But you know what? The greatest thing I've done in life was one night on my knees, when I laid my hand in the Master's hand. You talk about a sweet time. You talk about joy that this world just don't have to offer. It don't, does it, Brother Glenn? This world, it builds you up. And as Brother Jerry said, we get things on our mind naturally so, and we want this and we want that. But I'm telling you today, if you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, you're a loser. You're not going to be a winner when it's all over with. You can't. He's the best thing, as Brother Randy sings, the best thing that ever happened to me in life is Jesus Christ. No doubt. No doubt. I sang that little song a while ago, and I'll bring my remarks to a close. There's no doubt in my mind when I read that little song, when I read the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, how the little boys wouldn't bow down to the king. How they thought, and I think there's a song where they talked among themselves, it's sung sometimes, that Shadrach said to Meshach and Abednego, the Lord's been good to three boys. We better not bow down. We better not bow down. I'll say to the Antioch church, the Lord's been good to us, hasn't He? I'll say to my little family, the Lord's been good to us. We better not bow down to anything. We better hold firm on the line and tell men and women that there's a better world than this here. There's a better way than this here. and it's called Jesus Christ. It ain't called the old regular Baptist. It's not called the free will. It's not even called a denomination. It's called salvation, and it's of the Lord. The salvation comes from above, and it comes, as Brother Jeremiah preached, right down into your heart. And I was just like that little man was that heard the voice, and I got up to want to go out and see, and I saw work on a wheel that clay marred into the hands of the potter. My life was broken to pieces one time, but the potter mended me back together. He made me, if I can say, over new. He put a new song in my mouth. He put salvation in my heart. He put a spirit in me that makes me want to tell every man and woman I meet, Jesus Christ is the way from this earth to the glory land. And if you want to fare good in this life, you get Jesus Christ in it. And you talk about a sweet time. You talk about a hallelujah time. It's in the Lord. No greater name than this. I'd say Jesus Christ. No greater way than this, or love, that a man would lay down his life for his friends. And he said, ye are my friends if you'll do whatsoever I've commanded you. So what is he commanding men to do? Repent. Repent. And be born again. Be born again. That scares people to death when you say, be born again. What is that? It's a new mind and a new heart. It's a new mind and a new heart. A man asked me one time, he started talking about ministers and who can and who can't preach. And I said, son, it's simple. No man can preach without the Spirit of the Lord. No man can preach except first he's been sent. And it takes God to call a man to preach. Not Brother James, not Brother Randy, not Brother Glenn. Brother Glenn, he may call you. See, he is God. And he calls from the household of faith. Yes. He don't love you, Brother B.J., more than he loves me. And he don't love me more than he loves you. You see, if we're all in the household of faith, we're all equal in him. We've been cleaned up. We've been set free. We've been born again. Yes, that's all things. The old things have passed away. And behold, all things have become new. But what does that mean then? It's meaning I've been born again. I've got a newness in life in Jesus Christ. And if he called one time a mule and asked to speak in the Bible, didn't he? If he can cause that, he'll call any man he wants to. They'll do his work. They'll stand firm on the foundation of what he has already laid. And what is that? I am the way, I am the truth, and I am life. And any man that comes unto me, all his sins may be great, they'll be freely forgiven. I'll wipe them away. Though they be scarlet, I'll make them white as snow. Yes, sir. And if you've been made white as snow, you're a fit subject for heaven. Amen. You're a fit subject for heaven. Brother Joe, words you say to your neighbor, good words you say to your neighbor, will be ordered of the Lord. Amen. He's the same God. The sisters that travel through their journey through life, through the grocery store, whatever good they say. Sister Rose delivering the mail may smile one day at a little child that'll never forget it. May put her arm around somebody that had bad news. They'll never forget it. Why? It comes from God. That's the love that God put in our heart. And if we don't have that love, we need to start praying more. We need to start praying more to get it. We need to be more humble. We need to live a little closer together. We need to bind up so close. You see, I know this little church. I know Brother Jerry, Brother Glenn, Brother Randy, Brother Jeremiah. I know my brothers. And I know that we are close. We have a closeness that most don't have. Why is that? We have the same mind and the same accord. We want the will of the Father to be done. I'm not saying all don't do that. I'm saying some men want their way more than others' way. I'm saying that we try to follow the Spirit and let it lead us and guide us. And if we'll do that, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. What must we do? We need to invite more. We need to talk a little bit more to our friends and our neighbors. They're not always going to come, but it don't hurt us to ask. It don't hurt us to ask. We need to tell them there's a little church that meets every Sunday and we love them.
That's right.
Come when you can. Come when you can. You're welcome here. Because they are welcome here, aren't they? We show love to everybody. I'd love to see, I wouldn't mind to see mothers, drunken boys come in back here. Though they be drinking, though they be high, I want them to know they can have a seat. I want them to know we want to put our arms around them. I want them to know that there's a better way than the way they're going. We don't condone what they're doing, but we believe that God in heaven that can change them and give them a different mind and a different heart and take care of them down through life. There's no doubt about that, Brother Jerry. There's no doubt about that. Grandfather's prayers, grandmother's prayers had to have brought you home many times that you didn't think you'd make it home or didn't know how you got home. And it's the same way with all of us can say that. Everybody in the house can look back and say, Lord, I should have been killed there. Lord, I could have been killed there on the job, on the highway. Could have been killed. His mercies. His mercies. I seen a little thing on TV, and I know you all been watching Ukraine and things. I'll get out Brother James' way. I seen a little group of people in the street holding hands, praying. Their homes behind them blowed up. And the thought come to my mind that we're not above those people that could come right here. And it will one day. This nation has forgotten God. And we've been protected by God all these years, brother, because we have stood. Every denomination has stood on the foundation of God. But now they call good evil and evil good. They call this, they say everything is okay. It's okay. You see, and I thought, I heard a man say one time when I first joined that there's a cross to bear. And I thought, boy, I don't see it. It's been a great time for me. And it has, but there is a cross to bear. We're not the majority, Brother Glenn. We're the minority. But we're the ones that they call evil now, you see, because we call upon our God. That's like the little song, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They was called evil there, you see, before the king. You're not going the way everybody else is. And we're just going to get rid of you. And they want to get rid of you and me now today. In this world we live in. They do, brother. You just pay close attention. They want to get rid of you. But I'm glad today as Jesus, I believe it was Jesus, the Son of Man, the Son of God, who was right in that fire with them little boys. I believe He's right in our midst as we walk and talk down our life. And He'll be there to be with us and take us home one day. And they're going to take our life. Wait and see. They're going to come after us. They're coming after us. But we are on the winning side. Why? We met a man named Jesus. And He changed us. And He made us to one of His children. We're a child of the Most High God. We're a child of the King. no greater feeling in life to know that you belong to Jesus Christ. So let come what may, let may come. Let come what may. I'm going to go the way the Lord wants me to go. I'll stand. If I stand alone, I want to stand for Jesus Christ. Come on, James. I've done the best I can.